Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. There comes a moment in everybody's life where you either fold or you fight. You either listen to the noise or you trust that whisper inside. You either believe in their doubt or you believe in your destiny. And right now, this moment is your moment. See, I ain't here to make you feel good. I'm here to tell you the truth because I've lived through it. I've watched doors slam. I've eaten dinner with disappointment, and every time I wanted to give up, you know what pulled me through? That tiny, barely breathing belief in myself that said, "This ain't how my story ends." Listen to me. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. And they shouldn't. Because if you don't walk in the room like you belong there, the world won't hold the door open for you. You keep waiting for permission, for applause, for someone to say, "You're good enough." But let me break it to you. You don't need permission to be powerful. You don't need applause to walk in purpose. Believing in yourself ain't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about showing up even when it ain't. It's about standing tall when life tells you to sit down. It's about being the first person to clap for yourself. Before the crowd ever knows your name, look around. The people you admire, they didn't get there by accident. They got there because they refused to quit, even when they had every reason to. So I'm asking you, what would happen if today you finally decided to believe in you, not next year, not when you have more money, not when the timing's right, but now, because nothing changes until your mindset does. You've got dreams sitting in the passenger seat, just waiting for you to take the wheel, and I'm telling you, hit the gas, drive, you're built for more, you're built for greatness, you're built to rise. But you've got to believe it first. So don't leave this room the same way you came in. Hold your head high, dust off that fear, and walk out like the storm you were born to be. Always believe in yourself, because when you do, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that can stop you. Self-belief is the beginning of every success story you've ever heard. Before the world applauded, before the spotlight, before the breakthroughs, there was a moment, often quiet, sometimes painful, where someone looked at the mountain ahead and said, "I can do this." That moment doesn't come with fireworks or fanfare. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's a whisper that shows up after your 10th failure, when everything in you wants to quit. But that whisper is where your power lies. See, most people think the world will start believing in them once they've made it. They think success will hand them confidence like a trophy, but it doesn't work like that. The world reflects back to you the energy you carry into it. If you walk in a room doubting yourself, the room will doubt you too. But when you walk in like you belong, like you've got something real to offer, that energy shifts everything. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It doesn't matter what mistakes you've made. What matters is the belief that says, "I'm still worthy. I'm still enough. I've still got something in me." That belief becomes your armor. It becomes your fuel. When doors close, it keeps you knocking. When people laugh, it keeps you dreaming. When you fall, it tells you to get back up and swing again. Without it, every challenge feels like proof that you're not good enough. But with it, every challenge becomes a chance to show just how strong you are. There will be days when doubt screams louder than hope. There will be moments when nothing makes sense, when the pressure feels too heavy and you question everything. Those are the moments where belief matters most. Not when everything's going great, but when everything's going wrong. That's when real confidence shows up. Not the loud kind that brags and boasts, but the kind that holds steady even when nobody's watching. The kind that says, "This season won't break me. Now, some people confuse self-belief with arrogance, but belief isn't saying I'm better than everybody. It's saying I'm capable, I'm built for more. I may not be perfect, but I'm powerful. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to know you can figure it out. You don't need every answer. You just need the courage to keep asking questions, to keep learning, to keep showing up. Believing in yourself means betting on yourself when nobody else is. It means staying in the game when you're losing, not because you're in denial, but because you know how this story ends, and it doesn't end with you giving up. The truth is, we all start with a little bit of fear. Everybody has that voice that says, "What if I fail?" But belief answers, "What if you fly?" Self-belief opens doors that talent alone can't. It attracts opportunity. It draws people in. It commands respect without ever asking for it. People can sense it. They feel it in how you talk, how you walk, how you carry yourself. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. And when you believe in yourself, the world starts to believe in you too, not because you begged for it, but because you became undeniable. So the question isn't whether you're good enough. The question is, do you believe you are? Because once you decide that you are, once you claim it, own it, and walk in it, nothing can stop you. Not rejection, not failure, not even fear. Because when you believe in yourself, you become the kind of person who keeps rising, keeps pushing, keeps growing, no matter what life throws your way. Confidence is not about walking into a room and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about walking in and not having to compare yourself to anybody at all. Confidence doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to wear flashy clothes or speak over people. Real confidence is quiet, solid, and unshakable. It's that calm fire in your chest that says, "I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table, and I don't have to prove anything to anyone." The problem is, too many people confuse arrogance with confidence. Arrogance is loud because it's insecure. It brags because it's empty. It looks down on others because it's scared to look inward. Confidence is the opposite. It's humble. It listens. It shows up without the need to be the center of attention. And still, somehow, it commands the room. Why? Because people can feel it. Real confidence isn't taught in a classroom. It's earned through storms you didn't think you'd survive, through nights you cried yourself to sleep, through seasons where you had nothing but your faith and your drive to keep you moving. Confidence is built when you keep promises to yourself. It's built when you say you're going to do something, and then you do it. It grows every time you face something that scares you and you do it anyway. Every time you fall and get back up. Every time you feel like quitting but keep going just one more step. That's confidence, not some fake surface-level image of perfection, but the real raw belief that no matter what happens, you can handle it. And here's the beautiful part. Confidence doesn't mean you have all the answers. It just means you trust yourself enough to find them. You don't have to pretend to be perfect. You just have to show up, do the work, and keep growing. Confident people don't say, "I know everything." They say, "I can learn anything." They're not afraid to ask for help. They're not afraid to say, "I don't know." And they're not afraid to fail because they know failure isn't the opposite of confidence. It's the fuel that strengthens it. Now look, confidence will make some people uncomfortable. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because it reminds them of what they've buried inside themselves. Some folks will try to shrink you, They'll call you arrogant, cocky, full of yourself, but don't ever let small minds make you doubt your greatness. You don't have to dim your light to make other people comfortable. Confidence is not about being above people. It's about refusing to be beneath them. The world needs more confident people, especially the quiet kind. The ones who lift others as they rise. The ones who don't need to be the loudest in the room to be heard. The ones who lead with presence, not pride. You become that kind of person not by pretending, but by doing the hard work within yourself. Healing, growing, getting honest, believing, because the truth is, the most confident people often come from the deepest battles. They've been through things that broke them down, and instead of staying broken, they rebuilt themselves brick by brick. So no, confidence isn't arrogance. Arrogance wears a mask. Confidence wears the truth. Arrogance needs to win. Confidence is okay just being real, and if you're working on yourself, learning, falling, getting back up, you're already building the kind of confidence that lasts a lifetime. Not the kind that fades when people stop clapping, but the kind that stays strong even in silence. Failure isn't the end of the story. It's just a chapter. But most people treat failure like it's a full stop instead of a comma. They hit one wall and decide it's over. They hear one no and give up on the entire dream. But listen to me carefully. Failure is not final. It's feedback. It's a redirection, not a rejection. It's a setup, not a shutdown. Every person you admire, every name you know, every success you've ever clapped for, there's a trail of failure behind them that nobody talks about, but that's the part you need to hear. See, failure doesn't mean you're weak. It means you were brave enough to try. It means you stepped out, took the risk, dared to dream out loud. You got in the game while other people stayed on the sidelines. So don't you dare be ashamed of falling, because falling is proof that you were moving. And most people, they're still standing still. You will never meet a successful person who didn't fail first. It's just that they refused to stay there. They didn't let one bad break turn into a bitter life. They didn't let one rejection become their reality. They failed, yes, but then they got back up. That's what makes the difference. Not whether or not you fail, but what you do after, and failure will test you. Oh, it'll test everything, your confidence, your patience, your identity. It'll ask you, are you really who you said you were? That moment, the one where nothing is working, when the people you thought would support you have gone silent, when the money's gone, the plan fell through, and you're sitting there wondering, what's the point? That's the moment where belief is born. That's when you decide whether you really want it or whether it was just a fantasy. Because real dreams cost something. They cost failure. They cost discomfort. They cost time, but they're worth it. See, people fear failure because they think it defines them. But failure doesn't define you. Your response does. That's where your character is revealed. When the lights are off, when nobody's watching. When quitting would be easy, but something in your gut says not yet. That's when the fire is lit. That's when greatness starts forming. Do you know what separates winners from quitters? It's not talent. It's not money. It's not even connections. It's resilience. It's the ability to take a hit and keep going, to hear no and keep knocking, to hear you're not good enough and keep becoming better. You can't cheat your way around that. You've got to go through it. You've got to let failure teach you, stretch you, sharpen you. And if you do, one day you'll look back and realize those failures were the reason you made it. Not the obstacle, but the vehicle. Let the world laugh, let them doubt, let them walk away when it's hard, because failure isn't where your journey ends. It's where your fight begins. Every time you get back up, every time you try again, you are building something stronger than success. You're building character, and that will carry you further than any applause ever could. So the next time you fall, don't say, "I failed." Say, "I learned." Don't say, "It's over." Say, "I'm just getting started." Because if you've still got breath in your body, if you've still got fire in your spirit, then trust me, failure is not final. Certainly. Here is a **600 word expansion of Keynote 4. Your vision is yours alone, **, written in a powerful, heartfelt, and motivational tone. Your vision is yours for a reason. It wasn't given to your parents. It wasn't given to your best friend. It wasn't handed to your teacher, your boss, or your critics. It was placed in *U*, deep inside your heart, your soul, your gut. That dream you carry, that idea that won't leave you alone. That feeling that you were meant for more, that's not random. That's purpose trying to break through. And the truth is, not everyone will understand it. Not everyone's supposed to. See, when you start walking in your vision, people will start asking questions. They'll say things like, "Why would you do that? Who do you think you are? That's impossible. Nobody's ever done that before." And that's okay. They're not the villain. They just can't see what you see. They weren't wired to. They weren't called to. Because your vision was given to *U*, not to be explained, not to be defended, but to be lived out. You've got to stop expecting everyone to validate something that wasn't revealed to them. Some people won't believe in your vision because they gave up on their own. Others will criticize it because they're scared you'll succeed and leave them behind. Some just won't get it, and that's not your problem. Your job isn't to convince them. Your job is to *build it anyway. If you wait for applause before you start, you'll be waiting forever. If you wait for people to get it before you move, you'll stay stuck. There are dreams inside you that won't make sense to the world until they're finished. People love to clap when the building's complete. They don't usually cheer when you're laying bricks in the rain. But that's when it matters most, when no one sees it, when no one understands, when it's just you, your vision, and your belief. This is where many people give up, not because they're not capable, but because they couldn't handle the loneliness of the early stages. Vision is a lonely road sometimes. It will separate you. It will stretch you. It'll ask you to walk away from comfort, from crowds, from conversations that no longer serve your growth. And in those moments, you'll feel crazy. You'll question yourself. You'll look around and wonder, "Why am I the only one who sees this?" But that's not a sign to quit. That's a sign you're right where you're supposed to be. The most powerful visions often start in silence, in stillness, in private moments where something inside you says, "There's more." You might not have the full picture. You might not have the plan, but you've got the seed, and that's enough. Your job isn't to know how it'll all unfold. Your job is to take the next step, trust the process, and protect the vision at all costs. People will try to talk you out of it. They'll tell you to be realistic, to play it safe, to follow the rules. But vision doesn't follow rules. Vision makes them. Every great invention, every movement, every breakthrough started with one person who believed in what nobody else could see. That can be you, if you're willing to walk in faith, if you're willing to take the hits, if you're willing to believe in your vision when no one else does, because the day will come if you keep going when the world will look at what you built and say, "Well, how did you do that?" And you'll smile, not out of arrogance, but out of peace, because you'll know this vision lived in you long before anyone else could see it. Faith without action is just a wish, and action without faith is just motion without meaning. But when you combine both, when you believe something deep in your spirit, and then you move like it's already yours, that's when breakthroughs happen. That's the formula most people miss. They either sit around hoping life will change, or they hustle so hard they forget what they're even chasing. But when faith and action meet, it's like lighting a match next to gasoline. Something ignites, and it becomes unstoppable. You've got to understand, faith is the fire inside. It's the voice that says, I don't see it yet, but I know it's coming. Faith is what lets you look at an empty room and picture a packed stadium. Faith is what makes you practice like a champion when nobody's watching. Faith is what whispers keep going when the outside world screams give up. But faith by itself won't build the dream. You've got to move, you've got to act, you've got to do your part, because miracles don't fall in your lap. They show up when preparation meets purpose. Let's be real. There are a lot of people with big dreams but no motion. They pray, they talk, they hope. But they don't move. They're waiting for the right time, waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth is, the right time is now. There is no perfect moment. There's just this moment. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Faith tells you the door will open. Action is what makes you reach out and turn the handle. There's nothing wrong with starting small. In fact, that's where most breakthroughs begin. It's not always about doing big things. It's about doing consistent things. It's about waking up and showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about working like the blessing is already on the way. That's the real test of faith. Not how loud you pray, but how bold you move afterward. Don't just say you believe, act like it. Now, here's the thing about action. It's messy. It's not always pretty. It doesn't guarantee a smooth road. You might fall, you might get rejected, you might fail a few times, but when you keep showing up day after day, something happens. The universe starts aligning, people start noticing, opportunities start appearing. Not because you forced it, but because you matched your belief with effort. You said, I'm ready, and you proved it. Breakthroughs don't come to the most talented. They come to the most persistent, the ones who believe and grind, the ones who speak it and sweat for it, the ones who understand that success isn't magic, it's momentum. Every step you take in faith adds up. Every effort compounds. And even when you can't see the results yet, something is building behind the scene. That's how doors open that you didn't even knock on. That's how you end up in rooms you never imagined, not because you waited, but because you walked. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Move with faith, work with belief, walk like your breakthrough is already on the schedule, because when you match inner belief with outward hustle, that's when things shift. That's when new chapters begin. That's when the impossible starts looking a lot more like destiny. Faith without action is noise. Action without faith is burnout. But faith plus action, that's power, that's purpose, that's breakthrough.